Will Warrington's unbeaten start to the season continue now as they meet Wigan in round 9 of Super League? Or will the second-place Warriors be the ones to pop this primrose and blue bubble? You'll find out with us here on Sky Sports as two of the competition's premier sides meet for your Friday night entertainment. Well, the most recent of the Wolves' 8 consecutive victories was a thriller in the south of France. The Wire emerging with a 4-point victory and the loss of Gil Dudson and Joe Philbin to suspension. So a timely return from injury for Darrell Clark, named amongst the substitutes alongside Matty Russell, who also missed last week's win. Young prop Lucas Green, you feel, will get a Super League debut tonight after 80 frustrating minutes on the bench at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. Well, with prop Mike Cooper's season ended after his knee injury sustained in that Good Friday win over St Helens, Patrick Mago is recalled to plug that substantial gap. Morgan Smithies, who has had an impressive 2023, is serving game 1 of a 2-match suspension, so we'll watch on as Willie Isa is brought back and straight into the starting lineup. Well, the Wolves go into this one as slight favourites ahead of the Wigan Warriors, of course, sitting on top of the table, but they know they've got Matt Pete's side breathing down their necks, and I just wonder, with an international doubleheader here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium on Sky Sports in 2 weeks, will we be seeing a half-back partnership, George Williams of the Wolves and Harry Smith of the Wigan Warriors? Attending England coach Sean Wayne will surely make a decision based heavily on what he sees here tonight and the great form both have shown so far. Well, the stars are arriving today, not just the Super League stars. Former WBA lightweight champion, Anthony Crolla is amongst the spectators. A couple of duties before he enjoys hospitalities, and there he is. Lindsay Hoyle, Speaker of the House of Commons, and of course a Warrington Wolves fan through and through, amongst the capacity crowd here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. Let's take you into the change rooms, into Warrington's, where the message, John Wilkin, will be.
Well, just keep doing what you're doing. It's obviously working. Use the confidence you've got here to go and attack Wigan. I think they're going to be physical. You know, they've got Josh Maguire, Vaughan up front. Very physical team. They're going to take it to Wigan in that part of the field.
Few welcome physicality, though, like the Warriors.
Yeah, I think they'll approach it with the hunters here. They've got to put their opponents under tremendous pressure. Harry, harass, close down the time and space on George Williams. And, you know, that's the best hope, really. I think they're under tremendous pressure, but they'll love to come out fighting.
Special games to play in, special games, I'm sure, to coach in. Daryl Powell and Matt Pete in position. And there is no hiding from the hype. The Wolves have made a sensational start to the season. That run, though, is about to meet its sternest test so far. Enter the Warriors.
Matty Ashton, that's a magnificent try. Ewing with the try. Oh, and it's Williams through again. Torrance, French it is, and it's Toby King with the try.
Going to be a chance for Miski. Oh, it's another bit of brilliance. And here comes the chasers. Try.
So much on offer for the sides tonight. Setting down a marker for the Warrington Wolves, perhaps their best ever start to a season for 75 years. The Locker Cup also on offer, and for Wigan a chance to close the gap at the top of the table. Prediction time now, Phil Clark, John Wilkin. Phil, we'll start with you.
I think this goes to be an 80-minute thriller, but in the end, I think just the Warrington Wolves have got too much here tonight.
The unbeaten start for the home side to continue. What say you, John Wilkin?
Yeah, it's going to be a humdinger. I can't pick it, but I think Warrington by a smidge.
Okay, time to go to our commentary team. Both have said the Warrington Wolves. Standing by with Bill Arthur and Barry McDermott is the newly appointed England women's captain, Jodie Cunningham, who we welcome on board.
A near capacity crowd to witness then first versus second in the Super League table. Chris Kendall is our referee this evening. Warrington looking to extend this great start to the season to 9 wins in a row. But Wigan will be determined to halt the Wolves' run. Confidence not in short supply. Warrington saw off Catalan in Perpignan last weekend, while Wigan defeated the champions St Helens. They are battle-hardened and ready for this one, as are we. Hardly an empty seat in the house as Wigan get their hands on the ball early on. Hold on, folks. This is going to be an absolute bell-ringer of a game.
This is giving me goosebumps, Bill. The noise is at top level, the atmosphere, and let me tell you, the fans behind the sticks to our left, the Wigan end, have been here since the gates opened at 6:30. This is what our game is all about.
Cassiano making his mark on Singleton early on there. Sam Cassiano starting tonight because, of course, there is no Gil Dudson, suspended after his punching incident against Catalan last week. And the kick from Harry Smith is a good, deep one. I just wonder where you two, Jodie, Barry, where do you think this game is won and lost?
Yeah, Bill, for me, I just think it's the physicality of Wigan that Warrington are going to have to contend with today. You can see straight away both teams really up for this physical battle, and you know, we saw George Williams have a quietish game for him last week against Catalan, and they still managed to get the victory there, but I think this is going to be a George Williams game tonight.
I'm not committed yet, Bill. I'm going to watch the game unfold. I'm going to get a gauge of what's going on. It was interesting. Wigan, nobody kicks more on fourth tackle than Wigan Warriors, purely trying to get territory and challenge their opposition by the quality of their defence.
4 tackles gone, Warrington just inside their own half.
Don't go early. Liam, go. 5, play on.
And the ball back in the dependable hands of Josh Drinkwater, who gets the kick away despite pressure. And Bevan French is underneath it. And earlier kick-off, Huddersfield 0, the Catalan Dragons 6. Can the Dragons bounce back from that defeat at the hands of Warrington last time out? First penalty of the game. The high shots on Liam Marshall, who gets to his feet nonchalantly.
Well, Paul Vaughan, one of the outstanding players in Super League this year. He's a little bit tall as the winger, just drops ever so slightly. Big game expected of him, and something John Wilkin said in the build-up there about making those big men do extra work. You can see they're actually running at those 2 players, making them defend, and a phrase he used, making their lungs bleed. Well, let's see how we can get on with that.
Yeah, that was a big combination tackle from Cassiano. Josh Maguire in there. Maguire making his home debut. He's had to wait a while, of course, because of his pre-season verbal indiscretion in Ben Curry's testimonial match, which cost him a 7-game ban. Only just back in action, and this is his first taste of a big night at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, and it is going to be big. It is not for the faint-hearted. Paul Vaughan, who signed at the same time as Maguire's, already make his mark, but here come Wigan looking to make their mark. Tackle completed as Farrell goes down 5th, and Harry Smith kicks across field, and Toby King will try and climb for this. The ball will come down, and I think it's been eventually rescued by Warrington, but it was dangerously bobbling around there for a while.
It was a beautiful kick, wasn't it? Harry Smith, very dominant, probably the only recognised kicker in the ranks of Wigan. Left foot puts it into the path of Toby King. We'll see that a number of times, I'm sure. Both centres, big, tall jumpers of the ball in Wardle and Toby King.
In fact, it was Bevan French who got highest, but they couldn't make anything of that Toby King kick. Josh Drinkwater then with the first goal line dropout of the night, and the first word of the night from John Wells.
Yeah, good evening, Bill. Yeah, just a quick weather check, as is becoming customary at the start of these games. It has been tipping down constantly all afternoon. We've had a real break in the weather just as the fans started arriving. Look, the surface is going to be greasy. It's going to be interesting to see how both sets of halves deal with that, and in particular the back threes. But in terms of weather conditions now, this is perfect for a bit of high-octane rugby league.
Pitch a bit slippery. Ground staff working hard once the rain had relented. And Wigan on the back of that goal line dropout with an opportunity here. Harry Smith eventually put to ground about 20 metres away from that Warrington try line. Sam Powell. Cade Ellis, and brings Willie Isa back on the inside, and Isa charging towards the posts. Sam Powell, Liam Byrne winds up for a charge into the Warrington ranks. And Powell, positioned in front of those posts, gets the pass away. Harry Smith, on it goes French. Quick hands and a quick try for Jake Wardle. Wigan hit early after 5 minutes. And Wardle it is who finishes it off, and the speed there from the Wigan Warriors as that ball zipped across the field. And Wardle claims his 4th try of the season. And Wigan capitalise, having forced the goal line dropout. They claim the try to take the lead.
Well, they've had all the possession virtually in this first part of the game. That's a gorgeous ball, cut-out pass to the centre, but you can see just at the edge of your screen the big man Sam Cassiano, he leads the tackle count. So the game plan of making him defend, making him do extra work in defence, means he doesn't have as much energy to push those defenders out to where the threat is. He'll be delighted with the start to the game, and look at that, the opening 10 minutes, Warrington score 8, Wigan just 3, but it's the away side and Matty Pete's team that get on the score sheet first.
1 minute.
Yeah, for me, I'm impressed with just how quickly Bevan French got that ball away as he came out the back. Josh Drinkwater, a couple of plays before, got off his line and put lots of pressure onto the passer of the ball there, getting out really quickly at Harry Smith. And it just made him doubt that pass a little bit more. Then Bevan French giving himself a little bit more time, quick hands, and a beautiful pass across the face of the defence.
Smith hits the uprights. 4-0 Wigan leads. 6.5 minutes gone. What a start to this one.
Yeah, again, you just see that pass there, and it's even more impressive when you watch it again. Just really quick hands there from Wigan, and showing exactly that pass, the attacking threat that they have on that left side.
Okay, let's go.
Jake Wardle had a loan spell with Warrington last season when he was still a Huddersfield player. Got 6 tries in 11 appearances. So Warrington can't say they weren't warned.
Matt, wait.
Here is Liam Byrne then, as Wigan receive the ball from the kickoff. Ethan Havard.
Oh, go on. No more of them, Sam. Come on.
Now, the reliable dream teamer, Liam Farrell. Dream teamer for the last 4 years. An incredible run of consistency from Farrell. Over the half, beg your pardon, just over the 40-metre line, Wigan are. And Powell gets the kick away. Sam Powell, in his testimonial year, tells me he's got a big race event coming up in July, which is just getting organised at the moment, and very grateful for the support he's had from Wigan fans for his testimonial season. He deserves it.
And that's a quality kick out from dummy half as Wigan give a penalty away. Toby King, the referee, doesn't like the tackle, but the third occasion they've got a good kick away. We saw when they got a goal line dropout, Wigan, how they made Warrington pay. Footwork from Stephen Ratchford, yeah, and he just catches a lazy arm from Toby King.
Early in the tackle count as well, they're looking to get that kick away, clearly back in their defensive efforts to keep Warrington up that end of the field, because they know how dominant they can be when they get in these attacking areas of the field.
It's interesting to count how many times they actually kick on that 4th tackle.
Warrington on the halfway line as Vaughan plays the ball. He and George Williams, of course, making the headlines in the build-up to this game by both committing themselves to new deals with the club, which just shows how far Warrington have come this season and how things have turned around from last year's nightmare campaign. And here they are now, top of the table, 100% record, but facing a really tough challenge here tonight. Can Wyre stretch their winning run to 9 games? Williams with a little dink kick over the top, and Bevan French comes racing across to gather the ball and is then bundled over Or is he? Chris Kendall just having a word.
And then it's a float that's put him into the in goal.
Yeah, the tackle was complete, and when Bevan French is pushed over, as you can see here, he twists over and makes sure the arm with the ball hits the floor. And then that last shove and push from Matty Ashton, that's the reason the penalty is given.
It's got a bit over-enthusiastic, did Warrington's chasers there. Here is Toby King clinging on to Williams. Williams trying to uncling himself.
Go on. Get to Williams.
Now then, Willie Isa back in the side this evening after his one-game ban.
Hold. Go to.
And up to the halfway line.
Cade Ellis there, the player taking the ball up, is the third front row, so Wigan going with big men from the start of the game. They want to gain ground and get field position.
4. Open square. Go early, Paul. Wait.
The rain has come again. We thought we'd seen the last of it this afternoon, but it's falling once again as we reach the 5th tackle, and it'll be another kick from Smith, and the conditions are going to... Oh, that's going to be a penalty. That was Bevan French on Matt Duffy. French acknowledging how he got that all wrong, apologising to his fellow fullback.
Yeah, he knows, doesn't he? He's electric in pace. Gets there too soon. He's that quick, Bill. It was a set play. You could see the communication and body language between both Wigan players. They knew what they were doing. And those two flyweights, well, they meet. And luckily, for Warrington, Matt Duffy's OK from the challenge.
Yeah, you can't fault the attitude and effort there, can you? That's what you want. You want pressure being put on the catches, especially when the weather's like this. But just timed that one slightly wrong, and you could see him try and pull out of it, but not quite get that one right.
We saw Brad Singleton take a heavy knock in a big tackle early in the game. Sam Cassiano involved and a couple of other big boppers. Sam Cassiano losing the ball there. And Wigan get it back. We'll go down to John Wells for an update on Brad Singleton in a moment, but Wigan have got the ball back. Cassiano just loves to offload. Maybe
Bill,
it's a bit early in the play for that.
He's still leading the tackle count. He's done 11 so far in just over 11 minutes. It's no wonder. Obviously, the ball is wet, it's greasy. Target the ball when you get your shoulder in, and you might well make a mistake. But that's game plan for the big fella, defending too much.
Here's Ethan Havard playing the ball. He has come on in Singleton's absence. Here is Smith, and again they're going to that. Oh, Marshall furious with himself. Couldn't take the ball.
Yeah, the weather again, you can see starting to affect the quality of that passing game. Bevan French does really well, gets that pass away quickly like he did for that first try. Marshall there just couldn't quite take that one in, and I think he had enough space there to get the ball down if that pass had been a little bit on the money.
Let's go downstairs and hear from John Wells.
Yeah, Bill, two really significant changes. The first is the obvious one, that's the weather. That has really changed, and it's having an effect, as we know, on the handling already, as we've just seen Liam Marshall put the ball down. The second significant change is an enforced change from the Wigan Warriors. Brad Singleton has lasted all but 5 minutes of this game, limped off following Wardle's try with a suspected lower right leg injury. He's gone straight down the tunnel. We've not seen him since.
Whoa, and there's going to be some bumps and bruises tonight. There's a big hit. As Warrington look to dig themselves out of a bit of trouble here, and they look to do it bravely, and Rashford gets the ball away to Ashton, and Ashton is clattered, splattered into touch.
That is unbelievable intensity in defence from Wigan Warriors as the Wolves try to use the ball and try and create momentum, find space. Look at the man again coming across, and it's the hero of last week, Joe Shorrocks. The crowd are complaining, is it legal, is it not? Well, you can't fault the effort. Look at him, he gets on his bike, shoulder in, and then Willie Isa, maybe a little bit, but listen, I'd rather reward effort in defence. You're not surprised that this has started 10 out of 10, are you, Bill? This is a bitter rivalry.
Okay.
So on the back of that superbly aggressive defence, Wigan regain possession. It was a really bold approach Warrington were taking there in these conditions. And the pitch is very slippery on that side as well, on the southern side of the field. A lot of water been standing there. Is Powell. Back it comes to Cade Ellis. Warrington supporters appealing for obstruction there.
Go for it.
Chris Kendall not interested. Here is Shorrocks. Shorrocks takes him on himself. Had a big game against St Helens last time out, did Shorrocks. Smith tries a little kick in and it's well dealt with.
I think Warrington's going to breathe a sigh of relief there, Bill. I think you're trying to play the way out of trouble in that previous set, and sometimes, especially when the weather and the conditions are like this, you really have to just pull up your sleeves and dig in. But it looks like there might have been an error there. There's a knock-on in backfield. Again, forced by some really good, dominant Wigan defence. And
forced by some furtive Wigan defence.
I know what you're saying, but Peter Matautia and his team are fatigued. What we got on the clock there, 15 minutes. 75% of the possession has gone to the away team. And Darryl Powell will be thinking to himself, we just need the ball, we just need to hold it, enjoy being in possession and try and get some breath back in the lungs.
Well, they're going to have to do some more defending here now because Wigan are on the attack once more, and here is Toby King. Made 138 appearances in Warrington colours. Powell short ball to burn the Irish international with his legs driving his stopped. Dufty Cassiano in there, but here is Bevan French. French tried to hit King, I think it was. The pass didn't connect. And Wigan squandering a great chance there.
yeah, pass just not quite getting to where it needed to be there. I'm not sure whether he was looking for first men or that missed pass out towards the centre there, but you can see that Bevan French is looking to play. Warrington clearly trying to get out and put pressure on Bevan French and forcing him to make those passes, especially in conditions like this.
So Warrington, again, with a job to do here. Here is Peter Matautia. He's been ever present in all 8 games this season. He only missed 1 of 28 last year. Paul Vaughan. Set restart signal. I think just above the cacophony of noise here. It is absolute bedlam. I just heard the hooter sound.
Just about, Bill, yeah. The home crowd getting right behind the team now. No, they need to play out this 6, get a good kick away and try and buy some land.
Here is Williams. Look at the Wigan defence. Hounding the man down. 4 tackles gone. Warrington just inside their own half as Curry plays the ball. Not a good pass. Maguire grovelling on the ground to claim that before Wigan could get to it. And Williams will get the kick away. It's a good kick high and into the arms of Abbas Miski, the 27-year-old wingman who's getting a good run in the side.
Coaches talk about detail within the game plan. Well, the ability of Wigan to put pressure on George Williams means he catches it, he kicks it, he understands it might go vaguely the part of the pitch he wants to, but he's no idea because he's under pressure and has to kick it and catch it in the same motion.
And that kick pressure, Baz, all comes from being able to control the ruck. If you can control the ruck and slow it down, that means the line speed can get up and put the pressure on the kickers, and that's what we're going to do really well. They're getting numbers in, slowing the play down and making sure they're set for every set.
Go for.
We've been looking away to our right for most of the opening 18 minutes. All the action going on in that end of the field, Warrington's end of the field, as the kick is a hoisted one from Harry Smith again.
It's an incredible take. Under enormous pressure. I think 4 shirts in his face there, Thewlis.
Matautia, that was high, and that's a welcome penalty for Warrington.
They'll take that, won't they, the Wolves? They have been under siege. You're right, we've been looking to our right virtually all the match, and as he's coming away, Matautia, with a much better grip on the ball, well, he collects, wears a tackle, and he'll be happy for it. He'll get the congratulations and the thanks and appreciation from his teammates.
Cade Ellis, the culprit, making his first start of the season.
We need to get him lower.
Just moments of just calm, just breathe.
Your team, your captain.
Not for long.
Not for long, indeed.
1. Move!
Wigan absolutely furious in their defence, just hounding the Warrington players. Here's Vaughan, and Vaughan doing what he's done so well since he came here, which is what has endeared him to the Warrington supporters. Wholehearted effort to win some yards there. Here is Williams. Williams, a little shimmy and a step and a jeer from the Wigan supporters. And then an offload from Matty Nicholson, and the ball has gone backwards.
Yeah, I think you're right, Bill.
I
think you're right. He had some information from his touch judge, and then he dropped the ball. The Warrington Wolves. It was an offload. I think it's Matty Nicholson who catches the ball, offloads it. The referee and touch judge communicate.
Oh, Paul Vaughan has said something while we're seeing this replay. Paul Vaughan said something to Chris Kendall.
Well, he's too good of a player to be opening his mouth like that. He just needs to get on with his job. He's, like I said, I think we've got the three best players in Super League running round at the minute, with George Williams, Paul Vaughan, and the fullback for Wigan, Bevan French. We're in for a real treat.
And you could see there when Paul Vaughan got his hands on the ball, he causes so much disruption in the Wigan's defensive line. It's probably one of the first times there was a retreating defender, and that was where Warrington then started to find some gaps and started to get some offloads away. See, it's really evident when he gets his hands on the ball how much devastation he causes.
Here's Ethan Havard now. Brad Singleton on the sidelines, and that's where he's going to stay for the remainder of the night. That calf injury John referred to is going to keep him out of the game. Ison's pass, French couldn't take the ball. King will dot it down, but it's gone forward, and Wigan blow a golden opportunity there.
That's brilliant work from Matty Ashton. They've managed to strip the defence. Stefan Ratchford goes in because he knows he's outnumbered. A beautiful front door pass from Joe Shorrocks. And then when Willie Isa gets the offload away at the precise point and the right time, Matty Ashton makes that tackle and saves a certain try.
It's a let-off for Warrington. 4-0 it remains. It is one of the games of the season. You don't want to miss this one. So a special mention here for a long-time Wire fan, Andy Alcock, who can't be here tonight. He is watching at home, I think. And Andy, all at Warrington Wolves are thinking of you at this time, mate. Here is Matautia. What an opening quarter of a game we've had. Okay, I mean, some of the quality, you'd probably say conditions haven't helped, but the ferocity is just, the intensity is unbelievable.
You've heard me say this before, the beauty is in the brutality of our sport sometimes. We've just seen the big fella, Sam Cassiano, go off. He's been rotated after 22 minutes. That might open the game up a little bit. But I've loved the opening quarter. It's been outstanding rugby league.
Good kick from Danny Walker there, pinning Bevan French in the corner. Now then, can Warrington turn the tables?
Absolutely brilliant kick chase there from Warrington, putting the pressure on, making sure that Bevan French hasn't got time to pick his head up and have a look where he wants to run, because he's devastating with his pace. But that kick chase and that line speed meant that there was just no time, and that's what Warrington need to really start doing. Pin them in corners, get the line speed right, and cut down the space.
So now Warrington have to hope they can force an error. Here is long-striding Toby King, who manages to offload that ball, and Harry Smith manages to drill a kick downfield on the fourth tackle. Dufty is there.
Revert to type, don't they, Wigan? Got a bit of momentum at the play of the ball, and Harry Smith thinks, I'll bank that advantage and make the opposition come away from their own line.
Josh Maguire didn't like the attention he was getting in the tackle there. Here is Williams. Williams, that characteristic step to try and take him away from the challenge of Kai Pearce-Paul. But his former club colleague stuck to his duties. Here is Stefan Ratchford in his 12th Warrington season, over 300 appearances for the club. And Warrington fifth tackle, again struggling to get any momentum.
Yeah, and the Warrington forwards were looking quite tired then, Bill. You could see when the kick went over, there was 3 or 4 Warrington forwards that didn't get back on side until the 3rd or 4th play the ball. So all this possession, all this defensive effort they've had to do is really taking it out of the tank of those middles.
The way that Wigan have gone about this game, it means fatigue is high in the Warrington ranks, and some of the players, not just forwards, look like they're running in blancmange.
Well, the pitch might feel like blancmange after all the rain, Barry.
Up in square, Ben! Here,
It is very heavy going. Probably be the same up the road at Aintree. And we've got some real classic stock here. Just saw number 35 for Warrington, the 18-year-old Lucas Green making his debut. And here is Willie Isa. There he is, Lucas Green.
Move!
Big prospect.
No, come on, go 5.
Comes from the Leeds Irish club. Little kick, and it's one for French to chase, and Dufty kept his eye on the ball.
There are many battles, aren't there? One-on-one battles. I don't think we're going to talk about the fullbacks going up against each other, but there's a real battle of quality, and you're right, Bill, to mention the young man, Lucas Green, an unplayed sub last week at Catalan. And we should celebrate every debutant in Super League, shouldn't we? All the best to that young man.
Go 3.
Comes from that East Leeds Community Club, who are no doubt very proud this evening to see his progress into the side.
They breed him tough in East Leeds, let me tell you.
14 years of age, I think he signed up for Warrington. He moved over here as a 16-year-old. That is some commitment. Long ball at Rashford. Oh, remarkable from Rashford.
He did incredibly well to keep hold of that ball. A little bit of juggling skills, I think Rashford's been practicing in the off-season.
French underneath the kick. OJ Field, of course. Big miss for Wigan tonight. Cade Cuss likewise sitting on the sideline.
Ryan Hampshire sat next to him as well. They've yet to see him.
With me, mate. Hold.
Good. Bulk of talent sat down there watching the team, really taking it to the league leaders tonight.
Lebanese international Abbas Miski, tackle on the 40-metre line in Warrington territory once again. Havard, long running forward who takes that inside Warrington's 30. 4 tackles gone.
Move, Ben!
And
go 5.
Shorrocks is in position, and it's Shorrocks to French, and it's French who puts the kick across field for the ball to be gathered, and missed it. It was Brad O'Neill. It was Brad O'Neill who bashed that ball down, and I don't think he grounded it properly.
No, Bill, I agree with you. I think he's just got a bit overexcited there. He reached out to get the ball down, but I think he loses possession and just bounces that one. And he tried to celebrate, didn't he? Tried to.
Tackle 5, on for the call of no try. Can we please check onside, offside, into grounding, please? So we pause the ball on the foot, so everybody appears to be onside there, so we can play this through, please. Straight to grounding, please. In possession. So we're slow on this. Can we just go back on that, please? Thank you. I've seen all angles.
Tom Grant not hanging around there. Chris Kendall didn't think it was a try. But what does Tom Grant reckon? Has Brad O'Neill got his first try of the season? He has, to extend Wigan's lead. Well, it looked as though he'd bounced that one.
It did, Bill. It did, Bill. I'm with you. I thought he'd bounced that one, but did really, really well to keep hold of that ball. And I think just that determination to get to the line. Warrington doing the very best there to try and keep hold of him as this little chip goes through. Collects it really well. Is it Paul Vaughan? Is it just trying to keep hold of his shorts there, but just doesn't quite manage it? And Brad O'Neill does brilliantly well there to get the ball down. He knew he'd scored it, even if we didn't. Obviously jumps up, celebrates, and he'll be happy with that one. And Wigan deserve that for all the effort. All the hard work defensively has earned them the right to get upfield and put some points on the board.
Brad O'Neill, who's been in the side for the last 3 games and had a good hour in the game against St Helens last week. In fact, had a good game there.
Going to set this out, lads.
Now Harry Smith hit the post with his first attempt. This one a bit more straightforward to extend the Wigan lead. 10 points to 0. Matty Beats side lead. Scratch of the head for Darryl Powell. How is his side going to turn this round? It's one-way traffic.
Well, they need to get some possession first of all. They've had 65% so far, the Wigan Warriors. But what a beautiful kick. And nobody expected Bevan French to put boot to ball. Everyone's expecting him to run. He chips it against the grain, and then Brad O'Neill gets another try for the away side.
Hold here. Go on.
Big night, busy night. Huddersfield have turned it around. Half-time, they lead 10-8 against the Catalan Dragons. All square in East Hull. 6 points apiece between Hull KR and St Helens. And Leeds just edging ahead against Hull FC, 6 points to 0. Hull FC looking for a big response to their Good Friday nightmare tonight.
Wait, Paul. Go for.
And Harry Smith
Give 10, 40,
under pressure, but gets a good kick away.
On fourth again.
Play on.
So that means that the wingers and those backfield players have to drop back, anticipating the kick will come, and if it doesn't come, then they've got defenders out of the line. It's really smart from Wigan.
Wigan supporters full of the joys. Warrington's crowd very subdued. Not used to seeing this season. Top of the table. 8 successive wins. But very much second best so far here in the opening half hour.
But the class of 23, we've seen them come back from situations like this a number of times. A 40-20 from Danny Walker from number 9. Hasn't quite got the angle right, but they're down at this end of the field, and look at that chase there. Some enthusiasm in that.
Don't think there've been many mistakes from Wigan, have there? I mean, Warrington have been the ones coming up with the errors.
No, maybe a couple. According to our stats, 4 from Wigan, 2 from Warrington, but it's been quality, hasn't it?
And making them in the right area of the field.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's about. They're making it right up near Warrington's try line, where you can afford to give the ball up and then back your defence in those areas. It's when you're making the errors near your own try line that you need to start rethinking it.
Well, here comes Wardle, try scorer early on, first 5 minutes of this contest for Wigan, who lead by 10 points to 0. Fifth tackle, another crossfield high kick from Harry Smith, another chase from Toby King. This one is allowed to bounce. Oh, and King couldn't quite gather it, and it went forward again, and it's another one of those tantalising opportunities.
I think I've seen something that I haven't seen before ever. Stefan Ratchford steps away from that ball. There isn't a Warrington backfield player that commits and claims that ball, and the ultra-reliable Stefan Ratchford, well, even he's rattled.
Yeah, it's rare that you see that from Ratchford. You wonder whether he maybe got a call from Matty Ashton in backfield there, but neither of them really
he might have heard yours.
That.
That's about it.
Yeah, yours. I don't think anyone fancied that with the line speed and defence that's coming in again and again from Wigan. Just absolutely brutal.
Here's Danny Walker. He's had an impressive opening few weeks of the season. Was a wholehearted, committed player in Perpignan. Did the full 80 minutes in that victory, did Danny Walker. Keeping Darryl Clark on the bench tonight. Here is Drinkwater. Drinkwater runs into the Wigan tackle from Ethan Havard, and Patrick Mago out there as well. Here is Cassiano. George Williams, nowhere for him to go. They will not be allowing Williams room to roam.
No, to the delight of the Wigan fans. 179 occasions he wore the cherry and white of Wigan.
Drinkwater's kick, Marshall bobbles it up. Gets away from the first chaser. It's Dufty, it's Cassiano and Maguire who eventually bring him down. Here is Abbas Miski. Caught the eye with the London Broncos when he came over to the UK.
Hold here. Hold, go to.
Started with Manley. Toby King. There's somebody down below us. 32 minutes into the game, still booing whenever Toby King gets the ball.
Passion, Bill, we love it. Passion. In whatever direction.
Here's Patrick Mago. He should be fresh. He's missed the last 3 games. Willie Isa.
5. Move! Josh Sam, wait.
That's the 5th tackle.
Wait. Go 5.
30 metres away.
5.
And Harry Smith.
5.
Bevan French.
Move.
It's French's little
now,
kick. Thewlis
now.
had slipped. Dufty slithers. That pitch, I mean, it is difficult.
Stand.
Yeah, when you're
Especially
defending
in the corners, sorry.
Yeah, when you're defending, obviously you've got to be shorter with those adjustments, keep your feet tight. And when you're passing the ball, you've still got to use the ball. You can't afford to just be a one-out team. But you just weight those passes a little bit softer. Give it earlier, don't give it in contact. But all the pressure that's been on Warrington Wolves, we have looked right nearly all the game.
4. Move! Willie, don't go earlier. Go 4. 4.
Here is Maguire.
Good. 5. Move!
Nowhere for him to go.
Go 5.
Williams gets a good deep kick away, but it's straight down the middle of the field, straight into the arms of Bevan French. And Marshall bursting onto the ball, but the door's slammed shut in his face.
I'm loving the way Bevan French is mixing his game up. He's passing, kicking, so he's not just a running threat.
Come on, none of them. Wait,
all the boxer tricks are out tonight.
10-0, and Wigan have done a good job because Warrington have been rampant on home soil. They've scored 26 tries and 150 points in 4 matches so far at home. And only Hull KR in round 4 have kept Warrington to fewer than 4 tries in any game this season. But at the moment, Wigan have got them on 0.
Play on, 4. Move! That's 4, isn't it? Wait. Go 4.
Here is Joe Shorrock's Willie Isa. Wigan.
5.
Up the middle channel, that's the 5th tackle.
Go 5.
And here is French, and French tries the pass. Williams snaffles it. Williams is looking for some support, and he has it from Ashton. Ashton cuts back in field. Ashton has got Williams alongside him. Ashton against French. He puts the brakes on, over the top. Williams duffed it. Oh, the tackle. The tackle from Marshall, who's come across the field. The ball's kicked down, and it's Ashton who's on it, and Warrington had a golden opportunity, and Wigan somehow managed to get back and deny them. There were 3 Warrington players threatening there. They haven't finished yet. Here now, they haven't finished. And here's Nicholson, and he is going to score, and they will get over. And former Wigan youngster Matty Nicholson finishes off a remarkable move. What a passage of play that was. We've been waiting for that from Warrington. And Matty Nicholson, whose move here was a subject of some acrimony, was there to finish off. It looked as though Ashton might score. It looked as though Williams would score. It looked as though Dufty would score. In the end, it was Nicholson.
This is rugby league at its absolute best. Transition from Warrington. And the decisions that are being made with split seconds to make them is unbelievable. 2 big passes, 3 big passes. And eventually they've got an overlap. Matty Nicholson steps off that right foot, head down and heads for the line. Wonderful transition, wonderful execution, and Warrington, who've had 35 minutes of pressure, 35 minutes of defending to do, go up the other end of the field, and to the delight of their coach, they open their account for this evening. All the key players on board, none more so than George Williams. ably assisted by Matty Ashton over on this left side. Brilliant, Bill.
He will have enjoyed that, Matty Nicholson, against his former club, and his rise to prominence since moving to Warrington last season has been recognised by Sean Wayne, with Nicholson named in that extended England squad. Here is Stefan Ratchford then, who's kicked 37 goals already this season, the top goal kicker in Super League so far this campaign. And there's another one to his tally. 6-10, looks a whole lot better from the Warrington perspective.
Warrington Wolves there showing themselves just how much they can throw the ball about as well, and it came from that quick transition, and then they kept the calm. They took the tackle. I thought they might have blown the chances when George Williams threw that pass and Duffy was tackled, but they composed themselves. 3 quick passes, and Nicholson with that really strong right foot step slides his way under the post for a brilliant Warrington try.
You're right, and can you imagine how the players might feel? George Williams would have been forgiven for just getting hold of that ball and thinking, thank the Lord we've got hold of the pill. We've not had it all night, but he thinks, no, I'm going to go, I'm going to find a teammate, and we're going to make a break.
What an opening 38 minutes we've had. Let's hear what Sean O'Loughlin, Wigan assistant coach, thinks of it. Sean, up until that Warrington breakout, you've been in control of this game.
Yeah, pretty much. We dominated majority of the half, but we knew it weren't going to be clean all the way to the end of the game. We know they're going to have their moments in the game, and that was one of them.
But you've coped with the conditions well as well. The kicking game's been good, defence has been good. Must be pleased from that point of view.
Yeah, it's very greasy. I think we've defended really well with some good energy, but I think we've carried the ball really strong as well. It's got us where we need to be to get the kicks in.
Thanks, Sean.
Cheers, thank you.
Josh Drinkwater bringing some calm to proceedings with that kick.
And his ability to think cool, while all about him are losing their heads just to get it over the sideline. He's not going to get possession, he's not going to get a scrum to get everybody together, but what he'll do is he'll be able to walk, speak to people. Great decision to kick for the sideline.
And you could see Josh Drinkwater there just indicating to the team 1 more minute. 1 more minute of hard work, of hard defence now for this set. And then they can take it into half-time, regroup, and then come out with really a great scoreline with all of the possession, with all of the intensity that Wigan have brought. I think Warrington can be happy with that scoreline.
Yeah, final minute of the first 40, which Wigan have largely dominated. But that try from Matty Nicholson has breathed life into this Warrington effort. Kai Pearce-Paul thinking briefly of an offload. It's not a night for that. And Harry Smith to Liam Farrell. In the closing seconds, 4 tackles gone. And Smith is going to hoist one last high kick to end the first half with Duffy underneath it to bring proceedings to a close. And the crowd salutes both sides, you have to say, for a fantastic, wholehearted first 40 minutes, which Wigan have had the better of, but Warrington have struck to give themselves hope as we prepare for the second half. Warrington 6, the visitors Wigan 10.
The rain continues to threaten the Halliwell Jones Stadium. They don't mind. This packed-out crowd have been royally entertained in 40 minutes of exhilarating Betfred Super League action. And it is the visiting Wigan Warriors sitting second in the table, who, courtesy of a Brad O'Neill try, have a narrow half-time lead. In the company of Phil Clark and John Wilkill, we'll analyse what we have just witnessed breathlessly. We, of course, continue our NRL coverage here on Sky Sports tomorrow with a doubleheader, the Knights Panthers at 8:30 a.m. Sky Sports Arena and main event, and then at our arena at 10:30 a.m. Justin Holbrook's Titans go up against the table-topping Broncos. All right, Betfred Super League action, round 9, and it's the table-topping Wolves who have a 4-point half-time deficit. That's just below them on the table, the Wigan Warriors. 2 tries to just that Matty Nicholson effort for the Warrington Wolves. It has been an amazing first half of rugby league action. Let's look at the stats. You'll see the majority of possession for the Wigan Warriors, 59-41 for the Warrington Wolves, who have had far more defensive work to do. 40 more tackles in total, and metres made. 481 for Warrington, a whopping 701 for Wigan in just 40 minutes. Phil Clark, John Wilkin, an entertaining game. You both picked the Warrington Wolves pre-game. Phil Clark, are you confident with what you've seen that they can claw back this deficit and close out a victory?
Well, they'll have to improve. Your stats have just shown that Wigan have had almost 60% of the possession. I worry that Wigan have used 60% of their energy, and I'm not sure that they can maintain that pace and intensity for the second 40.
We've said it before about Warrington. Perhaps in 2022 they would not have been able to get themselves out of a hole like this and win a game. Different beast, but the Wigan Warriors themselves have improved over year to year.
Yeah, well, I watched them play on Good Friday. They produced a performance that shocked me. They produced a first half that shocked me. You can't help but have admiration and respect for these players in the Wigan dressing room. An incredible first half performance. Going back to your question, do I think they've got enough? I fancy Warrington still. I think half-time was...
Why?
It came at a good time for them. I think if they can come out and apply themselves, get 50% of possession, address the physical dominance that Wigan pushed on them, I think that Warrington, George Williams might have something to say.
But are they too old in the forwards? As Wigan's youth, smaller, faster players, at the moment in the first 40, it seems to be. Whether they can continue for another 40, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, no, it's youth and exuberance firstly. That gnarly old experience. Let's see who wins.
Oh, there you go. He couldn't look any more experienced than Darryl Powell. He's got the lookers on. The England coach is, of course, observing the players. He's named a massive 40-man squad this week ahead of the double-header international games. You'll see with us on Sky Sports. Matt Pete will no doubt have many of his players involved in that. For the moment, though, the focus goes on the Betfred Super League, and we go back to Jody Cunningham, Barry McDermott, and Bill Arthur.
Thank you, Brian. Just saw Darryl Powell, and congratulations to him for being named Coach of the Month for March. He was Coach of the Month for February, in actual fact. He can't put a foot wrong in 2023, which is quite a turnaround from 2022. The worst season in his 22-year-long coaching career. His side finished 11th in the table, the lowest ever placing. Here they are, top of the table, 8 wins on the spin, but with an almighty battle on their hands in the second half here.
Bill, I tell you what, Darryl Powell may well have been saying to his team at half-time is, look, Wigan have played the ball for 43 occasions in our half, but they've only scored twice. So we've been able to hold them out the majority of the time. They've got over that halfway line. If we can get some ball, if we can play it 43 times in their half, let's see how many times we can score.
It's Warrington in possession then at the start of this second half, and that's just as enthusiastic in defence from Wigan to stop Ben Curry's progress. Williams back to Ratchford.
Move to me. Go 5.
And
Sam George, give 10.
Warrington forced a kick from well inside their own half, and French, it bounced up kindly for him. Ignores Marshall's offer of support and takes it up the field himself, does Bevan French.
Good work, Darryl.
Abbas Miski now. And he's tackled on that Wigan 40-metre line. Here's Liam Marshall. Thought he'd saved the try with that tackle to seemingly deny Warrington before Matty Nicholson went in to score.
That's 2 big men meet, isn't it? Cassiano and Mago. My word, there's some KGs there, isn't there?
Here's Harry Smith. Here is Liam Farrell. This is a bruising contest. Look at Willie Isa. That hurts. That's a big egg on the side of his forehead.
I thought Easter had finished. It looks like a chocolate mini egg on the side of his face.
The kick is dealt with, but now the pressure is coming. And listen to the Wigan supporters away to our end, our left in that western stand, urging their side on in defence.
And look who's there, eager to work, Willie Isa. We saw him a few weeks ago with the biggest gash in his mouth, didn't we? He played probably 20 minutes with a huge gaping wound in his mouth.
Cassiano with a brave offload, but it's come unstuck, and Wigan have got it back. It's Ethan Havard now. That was clumsy from Warrington, trying to keep that ball afloat. And Wigan are going to have the opportunity to capitalise. Here is Kai Pearce-Ball, his last season in the British game before he joins the Newcastle Knights next year. Drinkwater it was with the offload. Mago, Shorrocks, Harry Smith's short pass, Isa it is, bravely in, but taking the tackle from Williams. Toby King. Now Shorrocks operating in the halves. Kate Cust, of course, out of action. Patrick Mago. And Wigan get the penalty. Warrington offside. Beg your pardon.
There's a little shove at the play the ball here. Mago refuses to go down. Warrington don't get him to the floor, so when he stands and plays it...
Who?
There was a push from a Warrington player at the play of the ball. I think the fact that Warrington are right over the top of the big front rower. Have a look here. Yeah. Maybe a knee, maybe just trying to nudge the ball away. Interference at the play of the ball. It's under that heading, that general heading, Bill.
It's an interesting choice for Wigan to take the 2 points, and you can see that Wigan just look fresh, they look composed. Even when Warrington had the ball and they try and get some possession, they're just forcing that pass out. We see the error from Drinkwater where he just doesn't quite get that ball away like he wants to, and then it's just putting Wigan back in good field position.
Harry Smith then gets the first points of the second half, just to nudge Wigan 12-6 ahead, but this game really evenly balanced at the moment. Second half just underway. Chance to hear from Ryan Sheridan, Warrington assistant coach. Ryan, what's the priority as the second half gets underway?
Just get into the game, start to build our own pressure. I think Wigan have dominated, obviously, that first half with most of the territory. I think something like 70% to 30. So for us, is building a game, going through a process and getting down to the other end of the field where we can put Wigan under pressure.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yes.
Ryan Sheridan might be talking about building pressure by goal line dropouts. Warrington lead the league in goal line dropouts. We saw how good it was for Wigan. It was the lead up to their try. That will help proceedings. But don't be surprised to see George Williams or Josh Drinkwater get a goal line dropout. They're both on 7 for the season.
The crowd not happy that referee signalled set restart there.
And that's not going to help the Warrington energy tank, is it? We can see at half-time multiple Warrington players getting up in the high 20s, even over 30s. Just the one Wigan player over 20 at half-time. That's Liam Farrell. And you can just, the work rate, the effort, the energy that takes out of the tank for Warrington is then evident when they're trying to come back off field.
Pace from Dufty to reach that kick and then try and get outside Marshall. Marshall not letting him go anywhere. There's Sam Powell on the sideline. Seen that one before on the face of another Wigan legend, Andy Farrell.
2005-4 against Leeds, was it?
Let's go down to the sideline and hear from John Wells.
Well, there's no doubt, is that this is a tough game played by tough people. We've already seen Willie Isa's extension on the side of his head. Now look at that from on Sam Powell. Bust his nose late in the first half. Nothing serious, say the Wigan doctors. We've seen that somewhere before that strapping, haven't we?
There's Williams.
Bill, I can recall in a cup match, one of our crew, one of our team, John Wilkin, had one of them. I think it was a cup final.
Outside.
Williams drills the kick towards Miskey, who gathers. Gives it to French.
Surrender!
Just that penalty then in the second half so far. Giving Wigan the 12-6 lead. Warrington have trailed only twice at half-time so far this season. They trailed to Salford, they trailed to Catalan last time out. They turned it round on both occasions. But they are up against a very resilient Wigan side here this evening.
Wait, go free.
Brad O'Neill, score of his first ever Wigan try this evening. And still some debate about that.
4. Move!
There is no debate. It's been given, hasn't it?
Go 4.
It's in the books, as they say.
Shorrocks hits Isa. Isa gets hit. Ball gets dropped. Warrington applaud.
Brilliant defence from the Wolves.
I think it was George Williams, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That just dropped his shoulder, hits right underneath the ball and forces that error from Willie Isa. I always love to see that, especially when it's a half-back who shoots out the line, really gets his shoulder in, forces an error on a second rower. That's exactly what Warrington and George Williams need.
I enjoy it, Jordy, I do, but I enjoy it when it's mate versus mate.
Wigan getting a taste of their own medicine there, isn't it?
Absolutely. George Williams, phenomenal player with the ball. Just showing he's not too shabby in the defensive stakes too.
Okay, I'm sorry. Shot clock off, Molly.
So Warrington with Williams now. Williams taking him on. King, Shorrocks making the tackle with King's assistance. Here's Ashton now. It is not a night for the skippers and fancy footwork flyers on either side.
Warrington are making a change. It looks like Thewlis is going off and Matty Russell is coming on. Unusual to rotate your wingers.
So John Wells will be on the case, see if there's a knock. So on comes Matty Russell. Looking for the 100th try of his career this evening. Here is Dufty.
There's a penalty coming here, Bill. As he takes the ball up, Josh Maguire, he just gets hit in the back a little bit too late. I'm not sure who the Wigan player was. As they're getting up quick. Is it Ethan Havard? Inside pressure. Yeah, he's got more than enough time to pull out of that. He just thinks, I'm going to make this statement here. And it's an unnecessary push in the back. Good field position for Warrington, was hard to come by in that first half.
Huddersfield stretching their lead against the Catalan Dragons, 24-14 at the John Smiths. Hull KR 14-8 up against the Saints, back-to-back defeats. Is it going to be for the champions? Hull fans, oh, more punishment. 24 points to 0 at the hands of the Leeds Rhinos. Latest scores in those games.
Go to.
Latest score here, 12-6 in favour of Wigan. But Warrington are on the attack. Williams at the bottom of your picture, just shouting out some instructions. And he gets the ball from Danny Walker and then drops it off to Paul Vaughan. But Vaughan is stopped by Liam Byrne. Now then, Williams lofts the kick. It's claimed by Ratchford. It goes back and it's come up for Wigan. The ball slithering around before Toby King could get a hold of it. Good work from Niski.
6 again, push.
Set restart again.
He couldn't resist, could he? Just give a little shove. The referee starts the tackle count again. It was a good kick, scruffy end. Wigan was in the corner.
Wigan over their own 40-metre line. Steady progress.
Josh, come on. Go free.
Not a night for flashy stuff.
Free depth.
Although they have players to provide that.
Change of direction is good on a slippy surface. You see Willie Isa going just back on a different angle.
Is Ethan Havard now.
5.
An impressive season for the 22-year-old.
Go 5.
O'Neill. Smith. Another tall kick in a first test for Russell, and Russell has lost it. Or has he? He's managed to keep a hold of that.
I don't know about that. I'm sure it hit Russell's head and went forward.
It went forward into Farrell, didn't it?
I think they've done really well there, Warrington.
To let off that one, it definitely was fumbled into, is it Marshall who was chasing up there?
You're right, yeah, Marshall who got there.
You need a bit of luck, don't you, Warrington, to get back in this game. Those 50-50 calls have got to go for them.
Drinkwater looking for a 40-20, maybe. No, straight into the arms of Bevan French. He hardly had to move for that one.
Third tackle. He knew what he wanted. He went for the 40-20. He looked at the red line in front of him, but the positioning sense of the fullback was top class.
Here is Abbas Miski.
Go to.
Now then, Liam Farrell.
Watch out for
14th season with Wigan. Liam Farrell, Mr. Dependable and consistent. Here's Liam Byrne. Remember, Brad Singleton out of action for the rest of this evening with that injury. Harry Smith back on the inside to Kai Pearce-Paul.
We haven't seen an offload from him yet, have we? He's one of the best in the business, Kai Pearce-Paul.
Somebody's had a word in his ear. Although I think the rain has relented. Little kick through from Shorrocks and a bit of, to me, to you from Ratchford and Ashton for a moment there.
Yeah, we don't often see hesitation like that from Matty Ashton and Rashford there in the corner, but I think what we're seeing really impressive on that right side is Joe Shorrocks. I think he's just doing his job really well, controlling the effort areas and really taking Wigan forward on that side. And now Warrington's starting to get some real good field position, which they desperately needed, Bill.
Great run from Danny Walker, yeah, takes them over the halfway line. 4 tackles gone. Darryl Clark on the field. Here's Peter Matautia now. That's the 5th tackle.
Oh, he's dropped it. Oh, what a shame for Warrington. It was good work. Well, we sort of asked the question why Matty Russell and Josh Thulis had rotated, but it was Russell's charge. Then Danny Walker, Warrington on the front foot. And that's a rare mistake from an experienced player. And Darryl Clark's been on the field for quite some time for Warrington. Sometimes Warrington choose to play the 2 hookers, speed up the ruck, give one of them the 13 roll, or they can perhaps interchange as that running forward.
So head and feed to Wigan. Let's go downstairs. More from John.
Yeah, just the club have given me a piece of paper with a number on it which reflects the attendance here this evening, and they're delighted to announce that they've broken all known records. Stadia record this evening, 15,026 souls inside the Halliwell Jones. Another little bit of business is that they have outstripped all records at the old Wilderspool ground as well, so the club naturally very pleased with that, and we tip our hats just a little bit on Josh Thulis. That is a tactical change we are hearing from Matty Russell. My feeling is they want a bit of punch out of backfield that Matty Russell offers that perhaps Thulis does not.
That's right, yeah. Josh Thulis got 2 tries on the firm surface of Perpignan last weekend in that Warrington win over Catalan. This is a very different prospect, as soggy, as Barry said, blancmange of a pitch. That ball is batted down, and it is Russell who is there to salvage it.
What can I say, Bill? One of the absolute highlights of 2023 have been the amount of times we've come to a stadium, we've come to a ground. The atmosphere has been excellent, but the crowds have turned up in their thousands. Well done so far. Keep it up, please. It's brilliant.
Yeah, well done, Warrington, tonight. Great atmosphere. Lockyer 20, St Helens 8. The latest score. Leeds 24-4. Hull FC are at least on the board. It's progress. And Huddersfield were beating the Catalan Dragons.
3.
Still are, I think.
3.
Wigan are leading the Warrington Wolves, the unbeaten, the 100% record Warrington Wolves, the top of the table Warrington Wolves. Aren't out of the picture yet, Warrington Wolves. Onto the halfway line they come. That's the 5th tackle, though. It is a really grueling arm wrestle so far in this second half. Miskey claims that ball and then loses it, and Rashford will pick it up. Rashford back in field. And Ashton is bundled into touch.
There's no advantage, so they'll still get the ball, Warrington. It was a high kick from George Williams, an incredible chase from the Warrington Wolves, and the error is forced. Matty Ashton right under the ball, and he's got a right to play at that, hasn't he, Steph Ratchford? But it's good attitude to defence, very similar to how they were last week, the Wigan Warriors.
Miskey, sorry Baz, Miskey done all the hard work there, hadn't he? He took that high spiral bomb, which I'm not sure anyone really fancies being under them when George Williams connects that well. He'd done the hard work and then just couldn't quite keep control of it as he took into that tackle.
Big opportunity for Warrington now. Matt Duffy off the back of that scrum is tackled at 11 metres away from the Wigan line. Warrington looking to narrow the gap still further. Here is their try scorer so far tonight, Matty Nicholson. Walker's pass. Paul Vaughan. Vaughan is brought down. They're 5 metres away from that Wigan line. Wigan. That's a stray pass, and Nicholson does well to at least salvage the ball, but Warrington have lost territory. They've lost momentum. And they're running out of tackles. Here is Josh Maguire. So that's the 5th tackle, 10 metres away. Can they conjure something here? Can Drinkwater conjure something? Oh, what a take from Harry Smith. That ball zipped off the surface into his hands, and he calmly collected it.
It's brilliant from Wigan, isn't it? But what a mistake from Warrington. Confusion. Danny Walker at the back of the play, the ball passes to nobody. You won't get many chances in this game. You can't afford to squander them.
Move, Josh! Hold. Go free.
Toby King. He's still booing downstairs.
Yeah.
An hour of the game.
You mentioned attendances though, Baz. I think it's the atmosphere that all these fans are creating. You mentioned the Wigan fans, the Warrington fans. They've been in full voice for the full 60 minutes of this game so far, and I can't see them quieting down.
No, because there's more drama to come in this contest, you feel. Here is Duffy.
And the way that it lifts players when you're in the changing room, you can hear with 20, 30, 40 minutes to go before kickoff. Crowds, chants, songs, it really lifts you.
Matty Russell trying to make some progress. Here is Matty Ashton. Wigan are mean. They have the meanest defence in the competition. Wigan have conceded just 13 tries in the opening 8 rounds. They've conceded 1 so far here this evening. Tenacious defence from them. It's going to take some unlocking. Here's Nicholson doing well. Eventually he's brought down. Kai Pearce-Paul clinging on downstairs. That's the 5th tackle. And Drinkwater kicks into the corner. French will come across and gather. They've got some good cover as well, and then French is away. French is away, looking for open field. A little step and Ashton makes the tackle. Ashton kept his eye on his man there to stop Bevan French's progress. Warrington have got bodies back.
Bevan French is lethal, isn't it? You've got to be good with your kick chase.
Well, we've seen his passing game and how brilliant that is, and that was where he was showing his running game, and his absolutely electric pace that he has there, just carving through Warrington's defence.
But he's turned defence into attack for Wigan, who are on the front foot now. 4 tackles gone. They're on that Warrington 20-metre line, having been defending their own line just a moment ago. Harry Smith is Willie Isa. Isa to Shorrocks. Shorrocks across the field. Shows it. Oh, and then Kai Pearce-Paul took his eye off the ball.
Look at the clock, 61 minutes. Often in a game of rugby league, that final quarter is where the game is decided. We've talked about fatigue a number of times. There's no fatigue in Bevan French. He knows where he wants to run. He runs right at Sam Cassiano, right at him, right around him. And it's a brilliant tackle from Matty Ashton. If Matty Ashton doesn't make that tackle, I think he goes the full length better than French.
Okay, ball in. Shot across. Out. Play on. Play on. 1.
So Warrington with a job to do now. Just the clock eating away, and a good win for the Huddersfield Giants. Back-to-back defeats for the Catalan Dragons. 26 points to 14, the final score.
And then Wigan return serve by punishing defence and jolting the ball out of Big Sam. He hasn't had the best night, Big Sam. This is his 4th start, 2023. He nearly always played his rugby league as a Catalan Dragons player off the bench.
I think he was trying to offload that ball there. He turns and he gets his hand free, and I think you mentioned it before, Bill, tonight's not quite the night for offloads, and he's been punished there with that one. Lots of bodies, lots of Wigan defenders around, and now they've turned over possession again in good field position.
Yep, they are putting themselves under pressure, Warrington. And Bevan French is the man to capitalise on a flagging defence, and they must be, because the conditions have been gruelling, really testing. Cade Evans now. Cade Ellis, pardon. 10 metres away. Kai Pearce-Paul keeps a hold of the ball this time. And a bang in front of those posts. 3 tackles gone. As O'Neill looks at the options. One of them is Havard, and he is driving to the line, but he's tackled just short.
Wait. Go for. Don't go.
And he'll go for 1 point, will Harry Smith, and he'll get it to extend Wigan's lead. And it's going to be one of those nights. Every little inch will count in the battle. And Harry Smith has just added 1 for the Wigan Warriors there.
Really smart decision there. Just dropping over that 1-pointer. Enough time left in the game that it's not quite expected. And it puts Wigan now 2 tries ahead and puts pressure back on Warrington.
Harry Smith, who had an outstanding game at Easter with a try and 3 goals in the victory against Saints. And very much a part of Sean Wayne's
I was just going to say
plans.
the same thing. We've got the possible 6 and 7 for England in that game against France at the end of the month, and Sean Wayne will be delighted with the way that George Williams has played, and Harry Smith has run the show for his team. There he is, Wayne. It looks very smart with that beard. I'm loving that look.
2 weeks today we'll be back here at the Hallowell-Jones Stadium. Jodie Cunningham will be back here in 2 weeks today with the England women to take on France. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, really excited, obviously. Hometown from Warrington, so yeah, it'll be really great to get to walk out with the England girls and hopefully put in a good performance against France.
Let's hope the pitch is dry a bit for you.
Hopefully.
2 weeks tomorrow.
April showers, Bill. 40-20.
Has he got the legs? Has he got the direction? Russell is racing back. He can't get there.
Unbelievable kick, isn't it? He knows what he's doing. Kicks the ball, gets the angle right. There's a bend on the ball that always has it going towards that sideline. That is rugby league perfection.
It is, and I think Matty Russell and Dufty were a bit confused then. There was a couple of afters and conversations there. I think they each wanted the other to take that one.
Cade Ellis and Wigan really looking to ram home their advantage now. 13 points to 6 they lead. Another try here maybe could put the game beyond Warrington, because there's been precious little sign of Warrington finding a way back so far in this second half. Wigan have maintained their domination. Harry Smith puts a little grubber kick in, and it's just too strong. Russell it is who dealt with it. Wigan will get the ball back, I think.
Again, that ball just bending away from Matty Russell. He thinks if it goes in a straight line, it'll go over this back line, but it just starts arcing back. Matty Russell and Peter Matautia are under pressure. A delicate, perfectly weighted kick.
Let's go, Josh.
Second goal line dropout for Wigan. Listen to the noise of those fans.
Here is Willie Isa skipping for all he's worth towards the middle of the field until Josh Maguire makes the tackle.
Go on.
Kai Pearce-Paul. Tall, long striding second row.
Go to
Brad O'Neill. Sam Powell still back on the field without that bandage on his nose.
Darryl, Sam. Wait, go free.
So O'Neill and Powell out there together.
Free.
And Harry Smith. And here's Bevan French, and French weaving his way through, or trying to. Shorrocks coming back across the field, slithering, slipping in front of those posts. Warrington under pressure here. Wigan looking to capitalise. French again fires the pass, can't take it, and Ratchford picks it up, and Warrington look to break out again.
Ratchford, if that player is in the hands of Matty Ashton, he's going for the try line. Steph Ratchford was looking for his winger. An awkward pass from Wigan meant that it was always dipping. The mistake was made. But this is a brilliant arm wrestle. What a finish we've got.
Go to chapter 2.
The clock against Warrington now. And Wigan's determination, Wigan's resolve looks undimmed. There was a question mark whether they could sustain it in the second half. Can they sustain it? Whoa!
Matty Pete will be delighted with that sort of effort there. Toby King leading the charge, numbers in, and just forcing Warrington out onto that touchline. Ratchford, nothing he could do there. Bodies in, and that's just a great attitude to defend your line. They are defending the win here. Good connection there. Joe Shorrocks, King, lots of bodies adding in there.
Joe Shorrocks might not be a natural halfback, he might not be a natural ball player, but his teammates, his coaching staff have the confidence that he can do what is needed. He's there at the back of the play, the ball. He is inspirational for his team in defence.
He is, and I think Harry Smith took a lot of that organisation. Harry Smith, I think the pressure hasn't got to him. He's absolutely stepped up to the plate, which has allowed Joe Shorrocks to just do the simple things well, do the effort-based things well, and he's having a fantastic game.
No, he's trapped again.
Here's Toby King, who hasn't had a bad night either, although it's hard to pick out anybody who's not had a good night for Wigan so far tonight.
The match is going to be a tough one.
Here is Liam Farrell. Over 350 career appearances for Farrell. And the Wigan fans in good voice. The Warrington supporters subdued as that kick is high, and Dufty decides to leave it in the end.
Are you saying 3,000 fans at the back of them sticks, all making it as hard as impossible for Matt Dufty to try and judge and gauge where that ball's going? I know sometimes teams don't always take a big following, there's not a big crowd when your team's away, but that's what it does for you. And look at that scoreline.
Go one, good Ethan, one.
Well, a good night for Hull KR, but another defeat on the cards for Hull FC. This one maybe not as big a gulf between the sides as there was in the derby last Friday. Was it last Friday? It seems an eternity ago. Williams running and getting back to his feet and still going and eventually getting the pass away, and Warrington could make this into something here because Russell gets the ball. Russell taking on Marshall and Wardle, and the Warrington supporters find their voices now. This is a big chance for them. Into the last 10 minutes, Vaughan driving it in, gets the pass away to Drinkwater. It goes to ground, it's knocked on, and Warrington squander another opportunity.
There's an eye roll from the coach, Darryl Powell. I wonder who's more disappointed in Paul Vaughan for turning round and offloading the ball, or Josh Drinkwater for not being ready It's just dipping down below him, but I don't think for 1 minute he's expecting that hit and spin. He knows there's a chance, a definite chance for his side.
Have they not got to do that now?
Yes, they have.
You know, I
That's
know
the
that
point
we've
I'm
been saying the
making.
conditions are not good, but, you know, now's the time. You've got to say, right, we're just going to go for it.
That's the point I'm making. You've got to expect them things. Follow an offloader. Pick up some scraps.
Don't go early. Wait.
They've got one of the best ones in the game in Cassiano, but he's not on the field.
Chances have been few and far between tonight for Warrington.
And we've talked about the defence of the Warrington players. We've got 2 players over 30, we've got 2 players over 40, and we've got Danny Walker on 51 tackles in this game.
Wait, Pete, go free.
All putting a good shift in defence. Will it pay and will it cost their team? We'll wait and see.
Ball. Josh off the ball.
Is Bevan French.
Go for.
Brought down inside his own 40. Here is Liam Farrell.
Help!
5th tackle.
5. Go. Good work.
Warrington eager to get their hands on the ball. Harry Smith hoists another big kick, and there's some hesitation once more, and it's back in Wigan hands, but
offside, I think.
Offside
was Cade Ellis.
Yeah, the ball was passed back from the player the ball. There was a couple of players, you can see they're all in front, they know what's happening. To the right of Harry Smith, there's probably 4 or 5 Wigan players offside, but the more worrying thing for me is the Warrington players. Nobody's claiming those high kicks.
Drinkwater losing his footing as he tried to get some distance on that penalty, and it went probably about 5 yards.
That's on the ball offloads.
Just about sums up the conditions out there tonight.
Moving forward, go, 1 on the mark, 1.
So not as far up the field as they'd have hoped from that penalty, and Dufty. Shorrocks gets a hold of him.
2. Move, Drew! Cage, hold!
Sam Powell assisting with the tackle. Ratchford, Williams, on it comes to Josh Maguire. It's been quite some home debut for Maguire in terms of experiencing the atmosphere of a Super League game. Here is Matautia. Warrington running out of time now. 6 minutes to go. Clark allowed to make some yards there. That's the 5th tackle.
Willie, don't go early. Got hold of his head, go far.
Drinkwater. Williams angled kick. Miskey it is who claims it before Ashton can get there.
Not high enough at this level, at this point in the game. There has to be an extra half a second for the Warrington attackers to get anywhere near that ball. I think that's his first mistake of the game, really. Position was perfect, just not high enough.
For me, when the conditions are like this, putting the ball along the floor, giving the defence time to get up, and it's never a nice ball to pick up off the floor, but especially not in conditions like this. It skids, it's unpredictable, but those easy kicks where it's just a chip over is just not quite tested enough.
Wigan did the double over Warrington last season, and their win here in April was their first win at the Halliwell Jones since 2017 after 5 successive defeats on the Warrington ground. They've got the taste for victory at this ground now, because it's looking like back-to-back wins here for them. Inside the last 5 minutes, and Warrington still looking for a key to unlock this stubborn Wigan defence. Is this man the key? Williams. Here is Ben Curry. He's had a quietish night, hasn't been allowed to roam.
That's Curry, that go 3.
Clark. Williams once more. Williams, ball on the inside. Oh, that looked high. Havard on Vaughan. And Vaughan just gets up, dusts himself down. Williams with a little grubber kick, and it's Toby King who makes it safe.
There you go. This is a little bit of the Warrington Wolves of 2023. Building pressure, goal line dropout, repeat possession.
And 4 minutes to go.
It doesn't matter when they come into the groove, does it? What?
You're not going to have long
3 and a bit minutes to go at this point here. They're starting to break tackles a little bit, Warrington, aren't they? This is their chance now.
They are, Baz, and that set all started from they put pressure on. They took the kick on the full and they made 10, 15, 20 metres off the first carry because they're taking the ball on the full, and that's what they've not done in the back three so far.
Vaughan looks up, drives the ball back towards the Wigan defence. 30 metres out from the Wigan line. Maybe last throw of the dice here for Warrington. They trail 13 points to 6. That Harry Smith drop goal could be a crucial difference between the two sides. Josh Maguire playing it. Here's Peter Matautia. Oh, Vaughan couldn't take the pass. It's picked up by Drinkwater. Drinkwater will go round behind the post and put that down. The referee is not going to award it straight away. He's going to go to video ref Tom Grant. Have Warrington found a lifeline here?
Tom, that is tackle free. We have no try. Check for a knock on there, please.
Sorry, Pat. So tackle 3, off-field call, no try, so we're checking for a knock-on infield. Appears to come with a Warrington hand, but can we get a bit closer on that, please? Just working out if it comes off the Warrington. Not then tell me much. Can we get a bit closer? Maybe something from the side. Yeah, this one's slow, please. Thank you. I've seen all the angles I need and I've made my decision.
Well, just for a moment, as we were watching those replays, there was a vague suspicion that maybe it was the hand of Harry Smith that had diverted that ball. But Tom Grant, the video ref, has had a good look at it. Not so.
And do you know what? At this point in the game, I don't mind the referee having a little look. You can see it there. He saw it live. We thought it was the easiest decision of the night, but the more you watched it, or the first couple of times you watched it, you think, hey up, Josh Drinkwater's in here.
No, we've got to put the score.
And this has been the best game of the year by a mile, hasn't it? The quality has been outstanding.
Well, not if you're a Warrington supporter who's been used to their side being top dog this season with 8 wins in a row. They were hoping to stretch it to 9 tonight. Not to be. They have run into a determined Wigan side who are going to make it 5 wins in a row on their account, which isn't a bad return. The one they lost, rather, of course, that opening round against Hull KR. They lost to the Catalan Dragons with a very limp display at home. But they've got back on track and they've closed the gap, or they will close the gap on Warrington at the top of the table.
They're going to get one more goal with the ball, aren't they? They're going to get one more kick, receive. They've a long way to go, but this is it. This is the ball game.
And Smith's going to drill that ball downfield. It's going to sit up for the fullback, Matt Duffy, who's going to come across the field and try and find a gap in the Wigan defence. There hasn't been one for 78 minutes so far. Elsewhere, Huddersfield have beaten the Catalan Dragons, I think, yet Hull KR have beaten St Helens 26-14, and Saints play Warrington next week. 34-10. Leeds have beaten Hull FC, a game you can see on Sky Sports next Thursday. St Helens against Warrington. Another massive game from the Betfred Super League. Warrington trying to conjure something in the final minute here, but they haven't conjured much, have they? The try they scored was a real improvised breakout. They haven't managed to put pressure.
I don't think they've been allowed to. George Williams is trying his best, but defences have been on top.
Oh, Drinkwater a little step. Drinkwater looking for some support. Can he find it? He does. He finds the support of Russell, and he comes back in field and gets the try. Minikin it is, in fact, who's on the field. And again, no try is the call from Chris Kendall. What's Tom Grant saying?
It's tackle 2, on-field call of no try. We're checking grounding, so he's clearly in possession at this point. Still in possession. Hand is still on the ball. Does the ball come away from the hand on that? That's what we need to see. Keep going through. Thank you. I've seen all the angles I needed and made my decision.
Wow. Last minute of the game. Is there late drama here? Has Minikin got a try to give Warrington a sliver of hope? Tom Grant, the video ref, says no try.
Wow.
He lost the ball.
Wow. Well,
Warrington
Minikin thinks he's the man to grab the glory, started by Darryl Clark. The crowd are going bananas.
But if that try goes up as a try on field by the referee, I think that one's given. I think it's the no try from the referee that means that the video referee's had no choice and has had to disallow that one, but it feels hard done to by Warrington. I'm not sure they had enough time to do anything with it, but he's still hard done to by the Warrington ones there.
Oh, what drama at the end here. The Warrington players. The hooter has sounded. Warrington are questioning referee Chris Kendall about that decision. Stefan Ratchford still debating. Wigan celebrating. Matt Peat will be able to celebrate his 39th birthday tomorrow with a really impressive victory over the side who were running away at the top of the table. With 8 wins in a row to their name, it has been a real classic arm wrestle. Conditions not favourable, but what an effort from these two sides. What a spectacle to put on for a massive crowd here at the Hallowell Jones Stadium.